I'm Miranda Kahn here with your latest Newsmax Now update. Republicans are criticizing the Obama administration for what they describe as a wavering response on how to handle the Islamic State. Members of the GOP say contradictory statements from President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden prove this administration is absent-minded when it comes to dealing with terrorists. Ohio Congressman Michael Turner says, quote, blatant inconsistencies further underscore this administration's admitted failure to have a coordinated plan to combat ISIS. And earlier today, Mideast expert Dr. Robert Rabil joined us on Newsmax TV and says America should be concerned over the rise of ISIS.
In plain terms, ISIS is indeed a threat to the United States. The problem is, I cannot speak in absolute terms, but I can say that you have many of those fighters, ISIS fighters, are dual citizen.
Dr. Rabil also reminded us that at least 2 ISIS fighters that have been killed were identified as U.S. citizens. Meanwhile, Vice President Joe Biden sent a stern message to the Islamic terrorists yesterday, promising they'll pay for killing those 2 Americans.
We take care of those who are grieving, and when that's finished, they should know we will follow them to the gates of hell until they are brought to justice, because hell is where they will reside.
Biden says the U.S. is not intimidated by ISIS and says America will continue airstrikes to slow down the terror group. Those airstrikes, of course, are the reason ISIS claims it executed 2 Americans. Now over to Eastern Europe, a U.S. Navy destroyer has now made its way to the Black Sea as tensions continue to escalate in the Ukraine. The U.S. says the USS Ross is meant to show America's commitment to strengthening and protecting its NATO allies. And in Wales, anti-NATO demonstrators took to the streets. The protesters marched near the NATO summit location carrying flags and banners. Riot police stood guard to prevent any trouble. Meanwhile, world leaders continue to meet at the 2-day conference. Their focus, how to deal with Russia and ISIS terrorists. I'm Miranda Kahn, and that was your latest Newsmax Now update. More coming your way in about 30 minutes.